Hey everyone, welcome to a special Pathfinder adventure card game scenario where we are doing the campaign wrap up. We did a successful Pathfinder adventure card game Mummy's Mask campaign with the character Alahazra. So, looking back at all 42 adventures that we went through, I was pretty surprised with how Alahazra actually made it through. I thought it was going to be a little more challenging, a little more difficult, but she had enough powers and shenanigans to get her through the entire campaign. I thought the first three levels were pretty, she was cruising right along. We really focused on acquiring cards that had the attack and fire or the attack and poison trait. So that really helped out. It wasn't until like adventure or levels 4, 5, and 6 that I felt that things started to get a little challenging. But it was very enjoyable campaign. So let's take a look at Alahazra's secret card here. I'll try to move in here, or zoom in, I should say. So we did choose the secret role, and as you can see, we pretty much maxed out with the hand size. We had what was interesting about the character Alahazra is she has that ability where she could recharge blessings to examine the top cards of her location deck, but really didn't go for that. We went ahead and we gave her we maxed her out on her cards. She had 8 cards at the end of the campaign. This was the first power here, where you may play a card that has a fire or poison and attack trait on any check. Add 1d8. We really focused on acquiring cards. That was pretty much just the whole focus of the whole campaign for Alahazra, is making sure she had that buff. The whole recharging blessings to examine cards really didn't do that. We may have used that maybe once or twice in the whole campaign. And then this one, you may recharge a card to add 1d8 to your check against Banes that have the trigger or undead trait. That was very useful. That helped her out on many occasions. And so that's kind of the secret role. I thought it was a lot better than choosing the recursor role. The only role difference would have been, still we could have maxed out on 8. Maybe a few of these other powers may have happened or helped out. But as it was, pretty happy with the choice of the seeker role. Of course, we have the option, if you want to see more campaign with Alahazra, we can look back to at the end of level 3 when we were choosing role cards. And if you want me to continue the campaign where it left off, where we did the role selection, and go ahead and choose the recursor role and see how that would have changed the campaign, that is always an option. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at Alahazra, the skills we chose for her. So as you can see, at first I was really concerned that she only had a D4 dexterity, but turns out either she was really fortunate in not picking a lot of cards, or I should say barriers, that had dexterity trait checks, because it turns out she really didn't need to buff that up. We really focused on just wisdom and divination to buff, and we're really glad we did. The ability to always recharge spells, especially spells at a lower level, I think that was another strategy that we kind of focused on this whole campaign that really served Alahazra well. And I might consider using that same strategy when I'm using more spell-focused or spell-focused characters. So I think that really worked out really well. So that was her skills. All we did was buff up her charisma and wisdom. So there is the breakdown of her skills. So what we'll do now is we will look at the character and the card feats that the character gained throughout the campaign. So let's go ahead and just zoom out a little bit there. So as you can see with the 2 weapon slots that she got, the first card she got that she ended up keeping was the Staff of Dark Flame. Really great card here. This card, is awesome. What it does, of course, it has that reveal effect where you can discard a spell to decrease difficulty of a combat check by 1d6 plus 1. That is simply amazing. We also kind of backed that up with a Staff of the Hooded Cobra. That was really an exciting. What's going to be interesting comparing if we're comparing this campaign to the campaign with Amotep, which we just which was our most recent campaign, which we completed, is to look at the amount of level 6 cards, 5 or 6 cards, to the previous campaign. I think Alahazra, one thing that really worked out for her was her ability to get items that she could trade to traders. And she did get a lot of loot. One thing that was slightly different from the campaign, of course, it had a slight, we changed the locations and we changed the henchmen villains, but we also added a few of those loot items I was talking about, like the Life Lantern and the Pharaoh's Key, to the decks. That did help her out when acquiring items to trade to the trader. So it's cool how she's going to be ending the campaign, as you can see, with a lot of high level items, or I should say boons. Okay, so now that was the weapons. Now for spells, of course, most of the spells had the attack and the fire trait. We did want to focus on that. So having spells with the attack and fire trait. These are kind of low-level spells. She just kept them because they were really good for like auto recharge later on in the campaign. She got some more powerful attack and fire spells, mainly through visiting traders, which was pretty awesome. This was a really cool spell. Didn't really use it a lot. We used this spell on occasion. We were really fortunate to get the Jolting Portent spell, once again, by visiting a trader. That's really half the fun, really, of the whole game, is leveling up the character, going to traders. That's how we got this. And we did get the final spell from Hayden Hopper. We got the Bone Shatter. Pretty useful, pretty awesome. I like how this is just a Magic Arcane Divine Attack, so no elements associated with like immunities against Banes, or Banes having immunities to this spell. So pretty awesome. For armor, we got and acquired a few different armors throughout the campaign, but this hands down has to be one of the best armors in the entire campaign because of the first effect. Recharge this card to ignore a non-villain Bane's power that happens before you act. I mean, that is basically a real lifesaver right there. So pretty awesome. Moving on to items, Alahazra did collect quite a few items throughout the campaign. I'm pretty sure she had the embalming fluid for a lot of the campaign, but then a few more items which were just more powerful came along, such as like the Life Lantern. What a great loot card, very interesting. We got the Wand of Scorching Ray, and the only reason we really kept this card was because it had the attack and the fire trait. So we were able to roll 4d6 plus the d8. So that helped out in a few occasions. And then we stumbled upon this. I'm pretty sure, I forget exactly which level we found this ring. And I don't think we got it from a trader. I think we found it somewhere. And it was one of the few and rare times that I actually came across this item in a campaign. But talk about a great item. This is pretty much going to be a must-have item whenever I come across this item in future campaigns. Real game changer, really powerful, totally awesome item. I was really glad Alahazra was able to get that. Okay, and moving on to allies. We came across this ally quite a few times. We actually got it at a trader. Pretty nifty. I just like the effect where you can recharge it to reduce damage. Always useful. We acquired Maga Three Fingers early on in the campaign. I think it was like level 1, and she just stayed with us for the entire campaign. Always a great ally. Yeah, if you get this ally, you just want to keep her. Then we came across this guy, this human cleric. I'm pretty sure we acquired him along in the campaign somewhere, and he turned out to be pretty useful. There was that one adventure where if it wasn't for this guy, we would have failed and had to have ended the campaign. So he did save us. I think it was sometime in level 4. So pretty awesome. Very, very cool. And last we had the blessings. Kind of a standard collection of blessings. We found a blessing of Ra, a blessing of Thoth, Blessing of Pharasma, Blessing of Isis, Blessing of Horus, and a Blessing of Maat. So that's pretty much the deck breakdown for Alahazra. I know in the final campaign episode or video 6.6 for Alahazra, I forgot a few cards were in her discard pile. So if you watch that video when I'm doing the deck check, it's missing the Bone Shatter, Fiery Glare, and I think a Blessing, one other card. So this is the complete deck check for Alahazra. So a really interesting campaign. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to be, of course, getting the next campaign set up. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using the character Drelm from the Mummy's Mask base set. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the same setup with the locations and with the henchman villains. I think I want to set up a campaign where it's just straight up every villain is in the deck. Maybe throwing in some more henchmen. I do want to make the adventure a little more challenging. One project I'm going to be doing in the future too is I'm going to be doing a multi-character solo campaign where I'm running at least 2 or 3 characters at the same time, but then I'm going to be making the scenarios and the locations much harder, maybe really planning and stacking the decks so they're really difficult, and then I'm anticipating several characters not making it through the entire campaign and just seeing like which character turned out to be like the toughest. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But for now I'm going to be continuing the single character solitaire campaign adventures. And let's see, I'm going to also try to maybe add in a few more of those promo cards. I know this this campaign I added in some more loot cards. That worked out really well. And yeah, if you were to ask me what really helped out this campaign in Alahazra was just visiting those traders. Really helped out, or the merchants, I should say. All right, well that's pretty much the campaign summary for Alahazra. It was a great campaign, a lot of fun, and I'll be starting a new campaign shortly. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.